It is the last week of June. You are standing on your back porch with a citronella candle burning on the table, a plug-in mosquito repeller humming in the outlet by the door, and a can of spray in your hand that smells like chemicals and leaves a film on your arms you can still feel 2 hours later. And yet, there they are. The mosquitoes are still there. One on your ankle, one circling your ear. The children have come inside because they cannot sit still out there without getting eaten. The evening is beautiful, warm. The garden is full and green, and you cannot enjoy a single minute of it. You have tried the candles, you have tried the sprays, you have tried the clip-on devices and the wristbands and the citronella torches lined up along the fence like little soldiers that do not actually fight. None of it lasts, none of it is enough, and every summer it is the same. Now I want you to sit with this for a moment. There is a plant that mosquitoes will not go near. Not a chemical, not a device. A living plant, growing in your yard, that pushes out a fragrance the moment the breeze moves through it, that mosquitoes find so offensive they will not cross into the space where it grows. A plant you put in the ground once, tend a little, and it comes back year after year doing the same quiet work. This is not new. The old farm women of this country knew this plant well. My grandmother grew it along the kitchen door and along the edge of the sitting porch, because the porch was where the family gathered in the evening, and the kitchen door was where the children ran in and out all summer long. She did not call it a mosquito repellent. She called it good sense. My name is Hope Yoder. I am Amish, and I garden in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. My mother kept this plant. Her mother kept it before her. And I am going to tell you exactly what it is, how to grow it, where to put it so it actually works, and what to do with it beyond keeping the mosquitoes away. Because this plant does more than one thing, and all of it is useful. The plant is lemon balm. Some of you have heard of it. Some of you have it already growing in your yard and never knew what it was good for. Some of you are going to go look it up the moment this video ends and then wonder why nobody told you sooner. Lemon balm is a member of the mint family. It grows low and bushy, about 1 to 2 feet tall, with soft green leaves that are slightly crinkled and toothed at the edges, like a rough heart shape. When you rub one of those leaves between your fingers, the smell that comes off it is clean and sharp and lemony. Not like lemon candy, like the real peel of a lemon on a warm day. Bright and citrusy and strong. That oil in the leaf is what the mosquito cannot stand. The compound is called citronellal, and you will recognize that word because it is the same root as citronella, the thing they put in those candles that do not work very well. The difference is that in lemon balm, the compound is alive in the plant, and it releases continuously into the air around it whenever the wind moves, whenever a leaf is brushed, whenever the sun warms the stems. It does not burn out, it does not run out. It is not a candle you forget to light or a can of spray you leave inside. It is just there, doing its work all summer long. Mosquitoes navigate by smell. They find you by the carbon dioxide you breathe out and by the warmth and scent of your skin. When lemon balm is nearby, that sharp citronellal fragrance confuses and overwhelms those signals. The mosquito does not know which direction to go. Studies done on lemon balm oil applied to skin have shown repellency rates comparable to DEET at close range, and when you plant enough of it in the right places, the air around where you sit carries enough of that scent to push them back. My grandmother did not know the science of it. She knew the result of it, and for our purposes, the result is what matters. Now let me tell you how to grow it, because this plant is one of the easiest things you will ever put in the ground. Lemon balm grows in almost any soil that drains reasonably well. It does not need rich soil. It does not need to be fed much. It tolerates partial shade, which is important because the spots around a porch or along the foundation of a house are often not in full sun. It will grow in full sun too, and it grows a little faster there, but it does not require it. You can start it from seed indoors about 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost date, and transplant it out once the nights are staying reliably above 40 degrees. Or you can buy a small plant from a garden center, which is what I recommend if you want results this season, because started plants will be bushy and fragrant by midsummer. Plant it in the ground or in a pot. Both work. I will talk about pots in a moment, because the placement of this plant matters more than almost anything else. Give it water when you first plant it, and for the first 2 weeks while the roots are getting settled. After that, lemon balm is remarkably drought tolerant. It does not need you fussing over it daily. It needs a drink when the soil goes dry an inch down, and in a rainy Lancaster County summer, that is not very often. One thing I will warn you about: lemon balm spreads. It is in the mint family, and it behaves the way mint behaves. If you plant it in open ground and let it go to seed, you will have lemon balm in places you did not plan for by next year. This is not a tragedy, but it is something to know. You manage it one of two ways. Either you trim the flowers off before they go to seed, which also keeps the plant bushy and productive, or you grow it in pots, which contains it entirely and lets you move it wherever you need it most. I grow mine in both. I have 3 plants along the south edge of the kitchen garden in the ground, and I have 4 pots that I move around. 2 on the porch, 1 near the back door, and 1 I set out by the fire pit when we gather there in the evening. Now let me tell you about placement, because this is the part most people get wrong. One lemon balm plant sitting in a corner of your yard will not protect your whole porch. That is not how this works. The fragrance works at close range and in the air immediately around the plant. You need to position it where the air moves through it and carries the scent toward where you are sitting. Think about where mosquitoes find you. They come at dusk. They rise up from low, wet areas, from standing water, from the grass and the shrubs at the edges of your property. They drift in on the evening air. So you want your lemon balm positioned between where they come from and where you sit. For most people, that means 1 or 2 plants at the edges of the porch or sitting area, not pushed back into a corner, but at the perimeter, where the breeze comes through first. If you have a prevailing wind direction in your yard in the evening, put a pot on that side. The air moving through the leaves carries the repellent forward into your space. A pot right next to where you sit works well also. If you crush a few leaves in your hand and rub them on your wrists and ankles before you sit down, you get the added protection of the oil on your skin. My grandmother did this. She would pinch off a small handful of leaves from the plant by the door every evening before the family came out to sit, rub them between her palms, and run her hands over the children's arms and the backs of their necks. It takes 30 seconds. It costs nothing. And it works. The important thing is volume and position. 3 to 4 plants placed thoughtfully around a sitting area will do far more than 1 plant placed randomly somewhere in the yard. Let me tell you now about the other things lemon balm does, because it earns its place in your garden in more ways than one. Lemon balm has been used as a calming herb for a very long time. A tea made from fresh or dried lemon balm leaves is mild, pleasant, slightly sweet and lemony, and it helps settle an anxious stomach and calm a restless mind before bed. My mother made it for the children when they were feverish or had trouble sleeping. She made it for herself during hard seasons. It is not a medicine in the way a doctor means medicine. It is the kind of quiet remedy a careful household keeps for the small daily troubles that do not need a doctor but do need tending. To make lemon balm tea, bring water to a boil and pour it over a small handful of fresh leaves, about 8 to 10 leaves for 1 cup, and let it steep for 5 to 10 minutes. Add a little raw honey if you like it sweet. The flavor is delicate. It will not overwhelm you. It is the kind of tea you drink slowly and feel better for having had. Lemon balm also draws pollinators when it flowers. The small white blossoms that appear in midsummer are loved by bees. If you grow vegetables, if you grow anything that depends on bee pollination, having lemon balm nearby is a gift to your whole garden. I mentioned in an earlier video that the bees decide which watermelons are sweet. Keeping the bees happy and numerous in your garden is never wasted effort. The leaves can also be added to salads, tucked into cold water as a flavoring, or used to make a simple herbal infusion for the bath. I am not going to teach you all of that today. What I want you to know is that this plant repays you generously for the small amount of attention you give it. Let me also tell you what else to plant alongside lemon balm if you want to build a real defense around your sitting area, because some of you are dealing with serious mosquito pressure and you want every tool that works. Lavender is the first companion I would add. Lavender does for moths and mosquitoes what lemon balm does for mosquitoes specifically. It creates a strong, fragrant barrier. Lavender also needs full sun and drier soil, so it does not always go in the same spot as lemon balm, but along a sunny border near the porch, lavender is excellent. It flowers beautifully, the pollinators love it, and dried lavender in a bundle hung near a door discourages insects from entering the house. Basil is the second one. Sweet basil, particularly, has oils that mosquitoes avoid. I plant it in pots near the outdoor eating area every summer, not just for cooking, which is how most people think of it, but for the protection it offers in the evening. It also needs to be near where you are, within 2 or 3 feet, for the scent to be effective in the immediate air. Catnip is the third, and this one surprises people. Research has shown that catnip contains a compound called nepidolactone that is actually a stronger mosquito repellent than DEET in laboratory conditions. It spreads like lemon balm, so I grow it in pots, and I am careful about where I put it because if you have cats in the neighborhood, they will find it. But plant it in a pot that you can set out in the evening and bring in during the day. Catnip is an exceptionally powerful addition. Rosemary is the fourth. Rosemary in a pot near a fire or a candle actually releases its oils into the air more actively with heat. Some people throw a sprig or two of rosemary onto the fire when they are sitting around it in the evening. The smoke carries the rosemary oils and helps clear the air of insects. This is very old practice. You do not need a spray can when you have a garden full of the right plants. The goal is to layer these plants together so that the area where your family gathers becomes, gradually, a place that mosquitoes find inhospitable. Not because of a chemical, because of a garden. Now I want to talk about something that is underneath all of this, because I think it matters. There is an industry built around selling you the feeling of safety from mosquitoes. The candles, the sprays, the devices, the subscription refills for the devices. It is a large industry. It works by making you feel like the problem is too big for a simple solution, and then selling you the complicated one. The women who kept these gardens before us were not naive. They did not have access to a hardware store full of options. What they had was accumulated knowledge, passed from hand to hand, about what actually works over a long season, in a real yard, for a real family that spends real time outdoors. That knowledge is not complicated. It is not expensive. A small lemon balm plant costs less than $2 at most garden centers. A single plant will spread enough in 2 seasons to give you cuttings for multiple pots. The plants I have now came from one plant I bought years ago. It has paid for itself more times than I could count. I am not telling you to throw away your spray if you need it for a hike in heavy woods, or for a single bad evening when nothing else is available. I am telling you that the garden you build around your home, planted once, tended simply, does better work over a whole summer than anything you spray and reapply and buy again every few weeks. The knowledge faded because there is no money in teaching it. Nobody profits when you grow lemon balm in a pot, so nobody advertised it. Nobody put it in a commercial. The old farm women who knew it are mostly gone, and their granddaughters are standing on porches spraying their arms and still getting bitten. You do not have to keep doing that. Let me bring this all together for you simply, because I want you to be able to do this week. Go to your local garden center or nursery. Look for lemon balm, which may also be sold under the name Melissa officinalis. If you cannot find it locally, look for it online from a seed supplier. It is very common and inexpensive. Buy one started plant if you want results this summer. Plant it in a pot if you are worried about it spreading, or plant it in the ground in a place where it has room to grow and you do not mind if it expands over time. Give it water while it settles in. Place it at the edge of your sitting area, not pushed back away from where you are, but at the perimeter, between you and where the mosquitoes come from. Add lavender if you have a sunny border. Add basil if you have an outdoor eating spot. Add catnip in a pot if you have serious mosquito pressure and no neighborhood cats. In the evenings, before you sit down, crush a few leaves in your hand and rub them on your wrists and ankles and the backs of your knees. That is the whole thing. That is the method my grandmother used and her mother before her. It does not cost much. It does not take much time. And by midsummer, when the plant is full and the evening breeze is moving through it, you will feel the difference. The children will come back outside. Tell me in the comments which of these plants you already grow and did not know this about. And if your grandmother had her own way of keeping the mosquitoes back, share it. That kind of knowledge is exactly what gets lost when nobody writes it down. I read every single one. Next time, since we have been talking about the plants that earn their keep around the home, I am going to show you the old way of drying and preserving herbs from your garden, so that what you grow in summer serves your family all the way through winter. The lemon balm tea I spoke of today, the lavender for the linen closet, the rosemary and the basil for the kitchen. All of it can carry through the cold months if you know the old method of putting it away. Until then, plant the lemon balm, put it where the breeze finds it, and let the garden do what gardens have always been meant to do. Take care of your family without asking much in return.